So actually in Power BI Stand Map, I'm going to cover these things highlighted by green, which is, first of all, this is just functionality. It's, as you can see in the background, supporting the streets and even other satellite maps and so on. So this even can be changed. Then the first thing we are going to cover is how to, for example, if you have dots and you would like to get different colors or even customize widget as shown above here, how to do this part, and also to how to control the ranges within this part. For example, we have here 3 ranges. So initially, let's start. So I'm going to use this data in the right, which is called 4G DTD data, and this is covering for like this dots, which is called RSRP, something like coverage level, and you have lat and long. So this is the 3 inputs which I'm going to use. So now I'm going to move this, or we can just make it very small, and I will just going to create for one from scratch. So the first point here, you need to go for this map, then you will click it. Once you got it, so the easiest way around, first point, you need to plot these kind of things. So we need to move the lat to the latitude, and same for the longitude. Okay, but one just important point, sometimes this, when you click it, it will be showing as a summarization, as a sum or average or whatever. So this should be don't summarize. If, for example, if you kept it as average or sum or whatever, so it will be given like display latitude and longitude pairs, set the aggregation latitude to don't summarize. So this is, you have to keep it into your mind whenever you are plotting the maps. This is one also point. And also if you want to ensure that this is like a latitude and doesn't have any summarization, if you click here, see above here, there is a column tool. So you can change the data category into the type of this data. For example, latitude, longitude. This is in case of this. So we have already plotted those. So now what we need to do, the first thing, you need to get color for those or a legend. So there is different ways. First of all, you can directly take, for example, let's try, take this one here into the legend. It will give like thousands of colors, because if you go to this kind of table, if you look into this data, see it's having like many color here, as you can see, many dots. So each dot will take a different color. So this is not what we're looking for usually. So there is two ways. It's like both of them moving to the same direction. For example, you need to create a support column here, as shown here, with the current ranges would like to get. Okay, so the first way you can do that, it can be even through the Power Query, which I'm going to explain at the end of this session. But let me explain first. If you want like to activate the Power Query, so what you need to do, you just need to click here, anywhere. Then above in the home page, you'll find something called Transform Data. Then you get to Transform Data. Okay. Then in Transform Data, once you go here, it will take you to the data which you have it. So in the data now, you can just, this is my tables, as you can see here. So now I have this for GDT. So you can see here I have latitude, longitude. So I need to create another column similar to this one, which is covering the ranges which you need to create. For example, if you want to create a specific range, you can just give a formula. So how to do that? You have something here called add column above here. You can see home page, add column, and all these functionality will be covered in the last session. And here, for example, you have a conditional column. So you click on the conditional column. Now it's opening. You can just call it ranges, for example, ranges or whatever name. So you need to select the criteria column, the one you are going to use for criteria. For example, RSRP, right? Then here, for example, you need to give your ranges. So I will give particular 3 ranges, because I know that my data, for example, I will say if less than or equal to a specific value, let's say here it's 105. Okay, as an example. So I will say, I will just call this one less. I can just call it whatever I want, 105. Then I can add another one, also same. Click here. I need first to, yeah, see this one was not clickable, so you need to click here. Then I say again, for example, minus 90, right? Then I will just call it from minus 90 to minus 105. Then the last one will be, can even add one here, or you can just directly go else, give whatever value you want. So I can say else give me from minus 44 to minus 90. Okay, so let's try to see what we'll get. See, now it's directly created a column, and this column will containing these three country ranges, and if anything not covered here, it will come as a blank. So now it's being created. Now we have this kind of legend. So let's go now and apply this one. So once we are done with this additional column, which we did it from here, you just need to click on the home page. Then you just make close and apply here. Then once we go here, it will start refreshing the data because now additional column will be added to our data. So this is actually, it's done through the bar query. Before using it here, I just need to show another method, which is from the data table. This is using DAX. Also, this is will be covered in the next sessions, but quickly, data. So for example, here you can click and add a new column directly also. I will not go, I will just quickly cover it because this will be covered in more detail. So I'll just call it, for example, range 2. Okay. There is a formula called switch. This switch. This expression, you can see here, it's asking you for expression. If you write true, so this is like giving him a condition saying if this condition, the value you are going to give is true, then in this case, apply for a value which I needed. For example, here I'm asking for the table, which is column, which is called RSRB. So I'm saying, like, for example, less than -105. If it's like this, please give me this kind of formatting -105. And if again, the value 2, you can see it's asking you again, you can just ask RS. If it's less than, again, for example, -90, then give me C result 2 minus, we'll say -90 to -105. And this is like result 3. We can just give, for example, I will say now give me the remaining will be as -44 to minus, let's try now, see what will be. So now, see, it's working as well. So this is another method, and also we have F formula, same as the Excel. Both will be covered in the next session. So now let's go back and use our data to convert it and get it as colors, as coverage as what we have seen. So now we can use the new legend, which we have it as the new columns, which being created as a legend here. So you can see now it's being created called ranges, ranges 2, and even you have this kind of RSRB ranges, which is the previous one I created. So I will use, for example, this one, RSRB ranges, or any one of those. Now click here. See, now it's plotting with 3 different colors, and you have -44, this three colors, right? So now you can modify these colors. First thing you can do, you can just click the map, and again, same as whatever you have done before, format your visual. And here, see, you have very few options. You have the bubbles. Then click the bubbles. Then first, you can just reduce the bubble size or increase it based on your needs or based on your requirements. So now I'm just reducing a little. I'll just make it like this. Then you have the color. Then in the color, you can see here, you can do it. For example, this one is a green. Okay. Then this one can be as here yellow. So I will select yellow. And last one as red. Okay. So now the colors is being created. This is one way around. I will also, there is another method for this particular one. I will explain it now. Now, assume you would like to create one table like this one, which is controlling the map, as you can see here, with the legend, and you need to know how many samples you have and so on. So this is actually, it's not a thing, but this is require a manual step. Excel support Excel, but let me show you. And yeah, so now what I need to do, first of all, I need to create RSRB ranges. So I have the ranges here. I can just drag and drop it into table, normal table, as you can see. This one, for example, you are using, yeah, this one, I drop it here. Then again, you can get this particular table and drop it just to get the count. You can just drop it again. You can drop it again here twice. Then you can just get the count, right? So you will get the number of counts, as you can see here. Let me just rename it. I'll call it Then again, you can drop it again if you want to get the ratio. You can just make again count, but this time you can just check new value. As you can see, show values as percent of grand total. So now this will be giving you the, as you can see here, the ratio. You can change this one as what you need. For example, I can rename it again. Just make it as percentage, for example. So now we have the ratio, and you can modify the formatting and so on. So now I need to modify this table to have this kind of coloring which matching my legend here. So you can do just click again in the table, go to the format. In the format part, you need to go cell element. In the cell element, you need to do like the background change. Okay, click it on here. And once it's on, you can just give it based on a specified column. And this is an extra step I need to show it to you. But let me first show what I have done before. So for example, you can give it even manual as manual. For example, based on field value. This is field value. If you have a specified, for example, I have created before something called colors, which is external table called colors. If I look to this one, it might give me a values. But let me first, before going for this, to show, for example, based on rule. Again, you can apply what you have done before. For example, if this values is greater than a specific thing, you can give. But this is actually, it's condition based on numbers, so this will not be applicable for this table, especially if you're speaking about data SRP ranges. So what we can do, this is also, there is a gradient. This is also will be based on number. For example, let's try here. For example, if I make it rule, this is, I want to make it like, for example, go here and make it based on RSRP ranges, right? From this particular table, RSRP ranges. If I click like this, it is going to equal whatever I say 50. It will not be work with this, will not be dynamic. If I did like this, see, nothing you have got. Especially if you are speaking about a text as mentioned here, you need to give it a specific color. So in this case, you need to create a support table with the color which you need. So let me first take you how to create the support table. Then you need to import this support table. After importing this one, we can create a conditional formatting based on the color given. So let me take you first that I will create this external table in Excel file. Then we'll come back to here. So now I have this particular Excel file. I would like to create a support table. So I will just call it RSRP ranges, same as whatever you have. Then we can give additional column called color. Okay. And this one actually, the values is what? Minus 44 to minus 90, right? This is the values which you have it. The format here should be text. So now actually what we need to do, this is, we need to give the colors now here, just to give the colors. And this is the color, you need to give the color code because the Power BI will read it through the color code. So for example, I would like to give here a color. So I would like to do like that. For example, here, I would like to give here first one, which is green color, right? So if you click into the color, then you go to custom, for you get the green color. So maybe you can just, once you click here in the green, you can get this kind of code. You see this hex. You can get it here or even from external website, but I prefer it from here. And you need to do the same for the yellow, right? So you can import this table, or you can just take it, copy, then you just go to the enter data. I will just add it as Control V here, and I can rename it whatever I want. For example, I rename it as control. So once you have this color control, this actually RSRP ranges, you should use it now from the new created table, which is called color control here. You can see it's called RSRP range. You should move it instead of this one, move it here. But the main problem that if you move this one now, it will not give anything. Like it will not be really effective as a color can change. If, for example, if I remove this one now, okay, it's working because if you look into this model thing, you have a relation created automatic between both of them. You can see this relation, and this data model I will be explaining in details. If you click into this one, these two tables now are being controlled by the RSRB ranges. RSRB ranges with RSRB ranges, that's why it's giving effect. But if I deleted this relation, see what will happen. Once you get back, see here, it's not giving anything. So this is the main idea also, which I need to explain it now, but this will be covered also in the middle part. So what you need to do, you need to create a relation between the 4GD table and the new created color control. So I'll just drag and drop this one to color ranges for now, and the explanation will be at the end of the session for the, but I'm just creating a relation to be able to control the colors through using this color control. So now going back, now to start counting normally, okay? The relation and modeling, this will explain the details. Now let's change the color of this. So once you want to change the color of this, you need to click here, format your visual, go again to this cell element. You have the RSRB ranges, the background. Then here you can now change this format style into field value. And in field value, you have this new created table, which is called color, which we give it. Then if you click it now, see what will happen. Now it's giving this particular range. And you can apply it for the remaining inputs, for example, for this RSRP as well. We have our table now created, and you can still remove this kind of total. Like if you search, you don't know where is this one. If you search this one, for example, you can just move it from here. You click off this one, you make it off, just remove the legend. So now we are ready. So now if you click this one, for example, see, it will just filter in your specified values. For this table, which I imported, I always suggest to import it from here, because in case if you need to change it anytime, you can just change it in external table. Once you change the external table, it will be applied directly here. But the problem that when you apply it as enter data, as we have done from here, it will not be editable. This is the main issue. So in case if you would like to do something like this, I suggest to import it through Excel table and keep it here and change within the Excel outside the Power BI whenever you need to change it. So this was the first part. Second part, about now it will be about the heat map. Okay. So now I will delete this one for now. Okay, but first before deleting this part, I just need to show you something. If you would like to go like zoom in, zoom out, which is just moving with the mouse, but also in the map control here, if you click here, you will have this click in the map. Then you will have here map settings. So you have the control, so you can enable the zoom buttons. So you'll have it here. So this like will help you to zoom in and out, and also you have this lasso button. So if you click this one now, you can even go, and this is also one of the functions which I'm going to cover, which you can see here mentioned as point selection flexibility in the map, and even excluding some points. For example, here is there some flexibility. If you click this one, and you, for example, you want to remove this area, or you want to select only this area from your drive, you want to like to select. So once I select this one, see it's making filter on all the other visualization. So now it's filtered the values, and we have it here. If you right click, for example, here and make exclude, then this one will be gone from the map. Now you don't have this values anymore. See, it's not existing. So this is in case if you want to filter out something, and this filter will be coming here. You can remove it anytime you want or return it back. So now I will just return it back. See, it's coming. So this is also another function. So this is almost we covered all except the heat map. So now let's go through the heat map. This time I would like to create this one using this kind of table, which is having points, just point and latency. Okay, this metric called latency. So I will just drag and drop this one latitude here. Same for the longitude. I'll just keep latitude and longitude for now, just show you what it is. So you got it as a points now. So now if you go to the format your visual, so you have to click your map first for sure. And format your visual, you can find something called heat map, right? It's off already. So if you click it on now, it will give you this particular edges. Now it's creating a map, and within this map, there is an options. You can start creating your cell radius, the radius of the points which you need to aggregate. So initially, what I will do, I just need to change the color just to make it more visible. So I will just, if the highest range, like okay, with a red, this one as a yellow, the 0% to 50% will be as a green. Okay, so now, what this map represent actually, let me zoom in a slide. Till now, I just give here the lat and long, right? So this is like accumulating that, you can say that the areas with highest number of points. If you increase the cell radius or reduce the cell radius, you can see here you have the radius options. For example, if it reduces this kind of things, will red. So it's like you can say it's aggregating the count now because we didn't give any metric to control it. So now, for example, I'm just zooming out. Sorry, I'm reducing the cell radius. So once, as long as you're reducing the radius of the area of the heat map, this one will be reducing because you're reducing the radius of the points to be aggregated. So now, for example, you want to control it based on a specific KPI or metric, whatever, sales or users or latency or whatever. So you need to drag and drop this latency or this whatever metric you want into the bubble size. And within that, let's zoom in now and try, for example, now see the aggregation, it's sum. So if you change it to average, this one is expected to change because your aggregation is being changed. You see, it's changing. So now let's do it like, let's first, yeah. So also give it as maximum. It's again changing. Let's give it as, again, for example, count. Please change it. So you can control it through this kind of metric within the bubble size. But actually, there is a drawbacks about that, about this particular map. That the main problem here for the heat map, that whenever you zoom in, it will disappear. This is the main drawbacks here. So this is, you can just get it as a zoom out. This is one of the drawbacks of the standard Power BI. That's why I give in the comments that this one is being limited for the zoom in and zoom out, and this is why it's, if you want to use a heat map, it's not really recommended to use this spot because you cannot zoom in. Like once you zoom in, everything will disappear. Don't have a control over this. So this is all the functions can be covered by this particular map.